దూర విద్యా విధానంలో డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ ఓపెన్ యూనివర్సిటీ దేశంలోనే మొట్టమొదటి సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం. దాదాపు 2.5 దశాబ్దాలుగా దూర విద్యా విధానం ద్వారా కంప్యూటర్ కోర్సును అనుసంధానం చేస్తూ బీఏ, బీకాం, బీఎస్సీ డిగ్రీ కోర్సులను అందిస్తోంది. పోస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ స్థాయి, డిగ్రీ, డిప్లొమా స్థాయి కోర్సులను ఔత్సాహికులైన విద్యార్థులకు అందిస్తోంది. డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం స్థానికంగా స్వయం బోధనా పద్ధతిలో ముద్రణ రూపంలో రూపొందించిన కోర్స్ మెటీరియల్ అందిస్తోంది. కోర్స్ మెటీరియల్ అధ్యయనానికి సహకరించే విధంగా రేడియో, టెలివిజన్ పాఠ్యాంశాల ఆధారంగా కార్యక్రమాలు ప్రసారం చేస్తోంది. అధ్యయన కేంద్రాల ద్వారా ఏర్పాటు చేసే సలహా సంసర్గ తరగతులు, సైన్స్ ప్రాక్టికల్ సౌకర్యాలు విద్యార్థులకు స్వయం అధ్యయనానికి ఒక చక్కటి అవకాశం. ఇవి విద్యార్థి సమీపంలో ఉండే అధ్యయన కేంద్రం నుంచే పొందొచ్చు.
Hello viewers, today we are welcoming you to the live teleconferencing program on promotion management, and to discuss on this topic we have two resource persons with us. We have Dr. Anand Pawar, Dean Faculty of Commerce, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Welcome you sir.
Thank you.
And Dr. C. Ranjani from Department of Commerce, Usmania University. Welcome you madam. Producing qualitative goods and providing best of the services is not enough. Making these goods and services available to the ultimate consumer is the most important and crucial task for the companies. So today these experts will discuss with us on how the goods and services produced are to be promoted to the market, in the market. Sir, Dr. Anand Pawar, can you please share us what exactly is promotion?
Yeah.
And what are the tools of the promotion also we want you to share with our students, sir?
Okay, fine. First of all, let me take an opportunity to welcome all the viewers and welcome to the wonderland of marketing, because it is an exciting and rewarding journey to know more about marketing, a dynamic field of management. When you switch on your television, you will see umpteen number of advertisements. When you open your newspaper in the morning, you will be bombarded with umpteen number of advertisements, and all these are nothing but promotion. So promotion is the word or one of the strategies of marketing mix. When we talk about promotion, is one of the most important marketing strategies after product planning, promotion, pricing and distribution. So broadly we call it marketing mix: product, pricing, place, that is distribution, and promotion. So in other words, promotion refers to any type of marketing communication, an attempt to inform, persuade and remind the customers about the product and services or idea with the intention to increase the sales. And in other words, promotion refers to an entire set of activities which marketing or business organizations use to promote or communicate with the target market. The main purpose of promotion is to influence the consumer behavior and induce the customer to buy, or at least to make a favorable decision to buy it, if not today but tomorrow. So in this connection, marketing communication has set of activities as we discussed. One among them is advertising, and number 2 is personal selling, sales promotion, publicity and personal relation, direct marketing and also word of mouth marketing. These are the elements of promotion mix. So if we go through one by one, advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation to promote the product and services or ideas by an identified sponsor. So, from this line what we can draw is advertising is a paid form which is not free of cost. It is a promotion or communicating the product or service or idea to the public, and it is by an identified sponsor. Sponsors here is companies or political parties for their candidature, or individuals, or even business. So, the ultimate aim of any advertising is to reach the target audience. Next one is personal selling, which is face to face communication and which is effective tool of promotion mix, because by which companies reach the customers directly and indirectly through their sales representatives, sales agents, sales engineers, and so on. So, which stimulate demand in the market by interacting with the potential customers. Similarly, sales promotion is another tool which is most effective, through which the companies promote their products by offers, by incentives, by offs, by commissions to the distributors and all that. So, ultimate aim is to divert all the products and services to get response from the customers or market. Similarly, next component of promotion mix is publicity and personal relation. Publicity, we all of us know, exhibitions, mail-outs, through which the company tries to exhibit the product directly, personally, physically, and take the advantage of introducing the product into the market. PR through press releases, using publicity as a means to reach the public or potential market, and last but not the least, direct marketing or interactive marketing we call it. So, direct marketing is nothing but directing products to the ultimate final consumers. For example, nowadays if you look at mobile traders are selling directly to the customers. So, it is an example for direct marketing. So, word of mouth, last but not the least, word of mouth marketing. See, the consumer one who get experience out of usage of the product, if it is he is satisfied with the product, he will be the best example for promoting the products and companies of that particular company. So, creating satisfied customers is an important task before the companies to make all business to increase the sales and ultimately getting revenue for which we have spent on. So, this is all about promotion mix and the elements.
Okay. Dr. Ranjani, Professor Pawar says that it is a favorable inducement from the consumers to buy the product. That is what he says, what is promotion. And meanwhile, when he is talking about promotion and promotion mix, he is talking about advertising. What exactly is advertising and how important it is in promotion of a product? Can you please share it with our students?
Yes, sir. As well said by Professor Anand Pawar, welcome to the wonderland of promotion. So, in this wonderland of promotion, as you have understood by Professor Anand Pawar, promotion is nothing but communication. Through promotion, you communicate with your audience, you communicate with the target customers, you communicate with the consumers whom you want to sell your product. So, advertising is nothing new. We face advertising in our day-to-day life. It may be a wonderful, catchy radio jingle what we hear on the radios, or it may be a clever slogan in the newspapers, or a 30 seconds advertisement which impresses us on the TV. So, we see advertising in our day-to-day life. A recent research has shown that a normal human being is faced with at least 5,000 advertisements in a day. So that is the power and impact of advertisements what we have. The word advertisement is derived from a Latin word called as advertere, which means turn attention. So anything which turns attention to a particular product, service or idea is what advertising is all about. As Professor has told, any paid form of non-personal communication where the sponsor is identified is what is the definition of advertising. So in advertising, we have many advantages wherein you attract a new customer, or it may be you retain an old customer. Advertising also builds your brand. Sometimes it acts as a silent salesman. So there are so many benefits what we have through advertising.
Oh, you mean to say that it is not just introducing the new product, it is also to retain the existing products, existing customers. You will be using advertising.
Yes, sir.
Professor Pawar, I would like to ask you for our students, advertising, what Dr. Ranjani says is turning the attention.
Right.
So, while turning the attention, what are the different ways? I mean to ask you, what are the different types of advertising?
Yeah, true. See, before going into the details of objectives of advertising, let us examine what is the importance or functions of advertising. So, attracting customer attention is one of the functions of advertising, and developing an interest in the product advertised, create desire in the minds of customers through benefits and the futures of that product, and also finally ultimate aim of advertising is to secure the action, that is ultimate purchase by the customer. So, we call it in simple term IDA, means attention, interest, desire and action. So, when it comes to advertising objectives, very purpose or objective of advertising is to inform the target customers or audience or general public.
Okay.
So, the very purpose of informing is to who is producing a product, what is the product, what are the features of products, what are the advantages or benefits of that product, how do we know about product until unless it is informed.
Okay.
So, very purpose of advertising is to inform about the product features and benefits out of it.
In one word, you give the specifications of the product.
Yes. So, we try to give as much as information about the product, not only product but also features, where it is available, with whom it is available.
Okay.
So, price, brand, features, whatever technology what we used in producing that particular product, all that will be informed to the target audience. And next objective would be to persuade. It is nothing but creating competition, because already there are many competitors may be there with the same or similar product. So, how best your product is about is nothing but persuading the customers. So, our product is superior in terms of this when compared to the competitive products.
Okay.
So, we have to persuade them, time and again we have to inform them that our product is superior when compared to competing products. Last but not the least, final objective of the advertising is to remind. So, reminding advertising is nothing but keep trying or reaching the customers, giving empty number of repetitions of advertising in a way to keep customers thinking about our products.
Okay.
So, we should not simply leave after introducing the product, after informing the product and just reminding what you call persuading the product, but also we have to, companies have to remind the customer that still we are in the market.
And make a follow-up work.
Yes, and this is nothing but persuasion or reminding is nothing but still we have to make them to think about our product and our brand or our company.
Again and again.
Again and again. So, therefore, companies used to give advertisement very repeatedly. For example, we all of us know washing powder Nirma. It's a golden advertising tool we have been hearing for so many decades. Why? So, though it is well-known product, why repeatedly advertising is coming? Because to remind the public or customers that still we are in the market and please think about our product, and we have changed, modified, innovative things are introduced, and all these keep telling with the customers. That is about reminding the customers.
Oh.
And ultimately Ultimately, the purpose is to stimulate the demand
Okay.
and increase the sales. The ultimate aim of any advertising objective is
To boost up the
landing,
sales.
landing at stimulating the demand and increasing the sales, in turn making profit. So this is all about advertising objectives. And when it comes to types of advertising, there are many types of advertising available with the companies, and different companies will follow different tools, and also sometimes combination of all these tools or types. Let us say product advertising, through which direct product will be advertised, and institutional advertising, through which companies advertise first about their business, about their company name, or we call it brand, and then we will go for advertising the product. So under this head, institutional advertising, we call it patronage advertising and social service advertising.
Okay.
So what is patronage advertising? Is nothing but promoting business as a product, as a whole, because it has so many products. So first introduce the company so that we can create the brand image in the market, in the minds of customers,
Okay.
and then focus on the product. And second, under the institutional advertising is social service advertising. So through which we do, our companies do, promoting their products. By the by, they also render certain services to the public, from where they are making
Profits.
profit out of it.
Okay.
So what they have to do is they have to promote some social cause. For example, how to eradicate HIV/AIDS, leprosy issues, or recently if you look at Corona alert, how to alert the public. That is, all these will be done by government.
Okay.
So it is in the interest of public.
Correct.
So as it is a social service advertising. When it comes to industrial advertising, so industrial advertising is slightly different from that of product advertising and institutional advertising, because industrial products are only meant for using further production. So it is not related to general public. It is industrial units who will buy the product from the industrial manufacturer, that is industrial components. So for which what they do is that advertisement comes under what industrial product advertising, only specific product.
So that is business to business.
That is business to business. Yeah.
Okay.
Next comes to brand advertising. As I was mentioning 1 minute ago, so there are companies who start boosting or what you call promoting their advertising before advertising brand. We all of us know how companies advertise without naming or giving any product, but they come with some figure, with puppy dog and all that, how particular Vodafone company or any telecom companies, how they introduced. Initially people do not know what is that and all, but they try to promote their brand first, then product. So they want to create an excitement in the minds of customers through their brand. This is we referred as what brand advertising. So only promoting brand first, then product.
Okay. Okay.
Next, retail advertising. So advertising activities done by retailers at local level
Okay.
or at the particular geographical location,
Okay.
it is referred as retail advertising. And then transit advertising, it's very important advertising nowadays, because we may be traveling by four-wheelers called bus, RTC, or trains, or airport also, or airlines. So while traveling in a bus or a train or a plane,
We come
across so many advertisements.
Yes,
We
yes.
call it transit, means transportation, while in transportation. So it is known as transit advertising.
Yeah. At times in petrol bunks.
Yes, when we visit for petrol for petrol bunks. So we come across all this kind of advertising done by companies. And financial advertising. See, there are many financial institutions, they do promote their business.
Okay.
Not only product, but also they have financial services. They have to promote their business. So there are umpteen number of financial institutions, insurance institutions, because of competition and all that, they have to advertise and they have to reach the customers and they have to apprise or communicate their benefits and product features to the ultimate customers and be in the market along with the competitors. And similarly, government advertisement, we already discussed about social service advertising is also comes under government advertising. These are the major forms of advertising types generally used by governments or the companies or industrial establishments. So this is how we need to understand the types of advertising.
Okay. So having learned the detailed account of types of advertisement or advertising, Dr. Ranjani, can you please share with us what are the media of these advertisements or advertising?
Yes, sir. In order to understand the different media, let us first take the example of a company who's manufacturing mobiles.
Yes.
Let us suppose the mobile company has added a new feature to its mobile, or it has come up with a reduction in the price or a new promotional offer like buy one mobile, get one mobile free or something like this.
Correct.
Now, how do these mobile companies tell or communicate the consumers that there's a new feature in the mobile or there's a price slash? So, there are different medias through which marketers communicate with the customers or the prospective buyers. So, there are different medias wherein we have traditional medias as well as modern or contemporary medias. Taking the traditional medias, you have the direct mail advertising media where you send messages through traditional mails, through postcards, or it may be through emails. These days emails are very popular. As we see every day in our mailboxes or inboxes, we see n number of advertisements which come into our email where they send us brochures or catalogs or any coupons or advertisement of their products.
Correct.
Then comes the print media where we have the newspapers, where newspapers are the oldest form, where we have so many languages in India and where lakhs of newspapers are published in our country. It is more powerful and more effective where it can reach a mass number of people every day. Also, we have magazines which are printed monthly, it may be, or weekly or fortnight, which reaches the consumer in a very effective way. Over and above these medias, we have the radios, the oldest one. It is more than 100 years old. It has celebrated its centenary, where it is very effective, and it is an effective tool used by marketers to reach the rural consumers, which is not possible by any other consumers. Over and above the radio, we also have the television media, which has this sound and color and vision impact, which is not possible in any other media. It's very effective and it has a lasting impression on the consumer the moment you see a 30-second or a 1-minute advertisement on the TV. Over and above this, you also have film advertising before a film, or it may be while or during the intervals of the film. These advertising are very costly. The reason is the audience cannot move out of the theater when these advertisements are played. And also these days, film advertising, marketers are doing film advertising while the film is running. You see a heroine eating a particular brand of chocolate or going to a particular brand of store to buy her wedding dresses, or a hero giving a particular brand of biscuit, or drinking a particular brand of tea or coffee, or using a particular transportation mode or payment of his auto through a e-wallet, etc. So, film advertising is more impressive these days because we see our favorite stars using those products. So, it has an impact, comparatively a cheaper way of advertising and reaching more number of audience. Also, we have event advertising these days where marketers are advertising their products in specific events, like they can sponsor a TV show, it may be, or a sports show, it may be, or a charity show as well, where we see so many sports matches being sponsored. And one of the most popular advertising medias what we have these days is online advertising, where you advertise online. A continuation of newspaper advertising is display advertising, what we call, where it is newspaper advertising is something very old, display advertising is something very new, where we find a horizontal line which flashes on the moment you open a website, you see a horizontal line flashing advertising a particular product. That is, you buy a space on a website is what display advertising is all all about. Then you have the social media advertising, where you use all the different types of social media. It may be Instagram, it may be YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. Even TikTok is used these days to promote a particular product. Over and above this, you have small sandwichman advertising, where people are dressed like cartoon characters. They are made, they stand in front of a retail outlet and they attract the customer. They force the customer to enter into their shop. And another important advertising we have is point of purchase advertising, where at that particular point where the sale happens, you have so many different offers. Sometimes you can have a trial or you can have a demonstration. So these are the different types of media which marketers use in order to communicate to the customer the different products, what they have, any changes they have made, and any offers or price reductions they have made in their product.
Dr. Ravi, I would like to add to Dr. Ranjani in this context, because generally we talk about advertising media, it is broadly two types, print media and electronic media.
Okay.
So if you look at the 2-3 decades back, so print medium was more effective, because in those days electronic medium was not that much effective.
Correct.
And it is the rich man's product,
Yeah.
because companies try to reach the educated people through print medium, that is newspaper. And now it become reverse, because the emergence or advancement of technology, electronic medium is being dominated, and so many company channels are coming up, and now print medium is become poor man's advertisement or a source of information.
Yeah, since
It is reverse now.
it has become, it permeates to all sections of the society, electronic media.
Yeah, true. Earlier, electronic medium was very low in case of rural context, because very rare people used to have their television, but through television advertisement or communication, they generally they are not reachable, but they only come to know through print medium earlier. Now, in every home you can find television, and whether they are literates or not,
Illiterate.
whether they are educated or not, whatever form, but they are exposed to electronic medium, and the dependence on the print medium is coming down. So it is become a rampant change in the electronic medium, through which the companies are also making use. And earlier, see, only few channels used to promote only big companies, but now there is a competition among the channels also. So each and every small company, they are taking up and promoting their, because win-win situation.
Correct.
So what I want to conclude here in this context is, earlier print medium was the predominant, now electronic medium is predominant.
Correct.
So once richer source of information now became poorer information.
Correct.
And it is vice versa.
Yes.
So this is what we need to understand here.
So conventional and non-conventional medium.
Right.
Okay. So Dr. Ranjani was talking about various types of medium or media.
Right.
Sir, can you please discuss with our students what exactly, how it costs to spend for the advertising? Can you discuss with us
Sure.
what is the advertising budget?
When we talk about advertising first function is identifying the target audience.
Okay.
When we identify the target audience, immediately we have to think of advertising media, what already Dr. Ranjani was talking about.
Okay.
And third point, when we talk about advertising budget, is nothing but the money spent on advertisement or allocation of resources on advertising or promoting the product.
Okay.
So it depends on the size of the company, type of the product, and there are so many reasons to decide the advertising budget. But there are companies, how they are allocating and how much they are allocating on advertisement or promotion makes, or how many tools they are using, or they are using only advertising or only sales promotion or only personal selling, or combination of all these. It decides the advertising budget. See, advertising budget is nothing but allocating resources or amount to be spent on advertising or promoting the product.
Okay.
So that is how we need to understand. We have to understand the concept of advertising budget. So it depends on the methods they employ, the companies employ. So we call it methods of advertising budget. So everything makes money out of anything.
Yes.
Because whatever companies wants to do, whatever public wants to do, it is only money matters.
Yes.
So it is not exception to the companies because they have to spend on advertising without
Business
particular-
means profit.
Yes.
Profit means business.
So to make profit or to reach, in order to reach the customers or general public to whom they want to reach, they have to spend something. And if you look at some scenario of 1-2 decades back, the companies used to spend 60 to 70% on advertisement.
Okay.
And now the scenario is getting changed because electronic medium has emerged as a very effective tool, and advertisement, along with advertising, sales promotion activities are taking a boom. So the spending on advertisement is little cut,
Okay.
and spending on sales promotion became, because to all the efforts or marketing efforts directed towards the customers through distribution channels. So trade promotion we call it. So salesmen, so companies tries to reach two ways to the public or customers.
Okay.
One is direct reaching the customers through advertisement, and indirect reach is through distributors. That is channels of distribution we call it.
Okay.
So it depends on the product they want to communicate, the size of the company and size of their budget allocation made for advertising,
Okay.
for which companies do follow certain methods.
Okay.
They are affordability method. For example, a company started its business very recently. They don't have any track record of past sales.
Okay.
So they do plan or allocate some resources or money spent on advertisement is based on their affordability. They think how much they have and from which how much they can spend for advertising or promoting the product. So it is depends on their affordability, that is their capacity to spend on advertisement.
Okay.
And second method is percentage of sales method. By this time companies might have come across 1-2 years track record. So based on the past sales, sales to percentage of sales to percentage to sales, past sale, for example 5% of previous year
Okay.
sales, or estimated sales, how much they are planning
For
to
the future, yeah.
for the future coming year.
Yeah.
So it depends on, or combination of these two.
Okay.
Either it may be past track record, or that is previous year sales, or estimated sales. They fix some percentage of budget, that is called a percentage of sales method. Under the third method we call it competitive parity method. So nothing to do with affordability or resources that the company has, and nothing to do with the past or the previous sales or the estimated sales.
Okay.
But it here matters is what competitors are spending on their advertisement.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah.
Yes, because companies do, they look at how competitors are exist in the market, how much they are spending, and accordingly we have to spend, otherwise we will be lagging behind.
Okay.
So we have to be there in the market behind competitors or among the competitors, so we have to follow the competitors.
Correct.
So in other words, we can also say it is industry average. For example, take the list of companies related to this particular product. How much, for example, company A may be spending 5%, company B may be following 7%, company C may be following 10%. Take the average of it.
Average spending of what
So
they
we
spend.
call it industry average,
Okay.
and decide your budget
Okay.
for your marketing communication. And last one is objective and task method. So what is the ultimate objective of the company determines the budget allocation. That is called advertising budget. And not only advertising objectives, but also what are the activities that you undertake, that
Okay.
companies wants to undertake.
Okay.
So we'll decide the advertising budget. So activities, objective is to reach rural consumers, objective is to reach geographically and faraway places,
Okay.
or across the globe or country.
Yep.
So it depends on the objective and task. What are the activities? For example, if you want to convey your message or communicate with the rural consumers, you have to have certain activities which suits the needs of the rural consumers.
Okay.
So what type of activities you undertake? We call it set of activities employed for advertising will decide the advertising budget. So generally these are the four methods generally companies will adapt for what you call advertising budget. They are affordability method, a percentage of sales method, competitive parity method, and objective and task method.
So we spend a lot of money on advertising,
Right.
and there are average industry average spending on the sales.
Yes.
Okay, madam, you know, we spend a lot of money on advertising, but how do we know how effective these advertisements are for the company to push the sales? Can you please?
Yes, sir. As in continuation with what Professor Anand Pawar has spoke, companies spend huge amount of money for all the promotional activities, including advertisement. So it is very necessary for any company to know or to evaluate the performance of the advertisement. That is, evaluating the performance of advertising is nothing but to assess the performance of the advertisement. That is, to what extent the advertisement is successful or to what extent it is a failure. If it is successful, what are the reasons for its success? If it is failure, what are the reasons for its failure, so that we take corrective actions and come up with a nice advertisement
Correct.
next time. Again, the main way of evaluating is to what extent your advertising is reaching. That is, you will be having your target customers. Is the advertising reaching your target customers? Then what is the impact it has on the target customers? Is it positive or negative? Are they understanding your advertisement as you have perceived it? And what is the frequency you want? Do you want the advertisement to play once in a week or once in a day or 10 times in a day is what you have to decide. And in order to measure all these advertising effectiveness, we have three different types of test, where one is pre-testing, the second one is concurrent testing, the third one is post-testing. Pre-testing methods are methods which are run by company before the advertisement is released. Before you release an advertisement, you pre-test. The two reasons why you pre-test is, one, in order to know the expenses, what you will be incurring for that particular advertisement, and the second reason why you pre-test is to know to what extent your advertisement copy is correct, the headline is correct, the slogan is correct, the media what you have selected is correct. The second method is concurrent testing methods. This concurrent testing methods is nothing but it is done while the advertisement is run on the television. This is mainly done in order to take any corrective measures if there are any mistakes in the advertisement what we have displayed. Then comes post-testing measures. Post-testing measures or tests are nothing but a post-mortem analysis of what we have already done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Dr. Ravi, I would like to add what Dr. Ranjini was telling about. So when we talk about, because companies do spend a lot of money on advertisement and promotional tools too.
yeah.
So it is necessary to measure how effectively we are using or reaching the ultimate and target customers. That is the matter here.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the company has certain decisions, and it is one of the important decisions. Generally, how companies try to measure is, there is an acronym called DOGMAR.
Okay.
So DOGMAR is nothing but designing advertising goals and measuring advertising results. So in terms of reach, in terms of frequency we use, and also the impact in terms of measuring the effectiveness. So what is the sales increase?
Okay.
What is the revenue generation? This is the matter for the companies, and for which we call advertising decisions. They are 5 M's: mission, money, that is budget allocation; message, the content, how we develop and convey; and also media, which is important to reach the target audience; and finally measuring, that is the sales and revenue generation. So this is how companies do their measuring the advertising effectiveness.
How effective the advertising is. Okay.
Otherwise, whatever they are spending is waste.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
Okay. Sir, I would like to ask you one more thing. We are talking about advertising, promotion, and what is personal selling? Can you please share,
Right.
discuss with us?
Yeah. Personal selling is another tool of marketing communication, and which is most effective tool in reaching the customers directly. By the companies, what they do generally is personal selling, name itself, personal selling. Person is selling to the customer directly. We call it sales agents, sales engineers, or salesmanship, whatever name it is, but ultimately companies wants to promote the product directly through their representative. So this is nothing but personal selling, and personal selling, in other words, which refers to face-to-face, two-way communication.
Okay.
This is the beauty of this component. It is a two-way communication. In other, advertising is a one-way. It only just advertises. But whereas in promotion also have different effect, but personal selling has two effect at a time.
Okay.
That is what they are communicating.
And also getting reverse
They are
communication.
getting feedback from the
Yes.
customers, which is useful for the company.
Correct.
So two-way communication here. Therefore, we call it, and it is also expensive, but it is very flexible.
Okay.
This is the beauty of this component or tool. And besides all this, the objective of this personal selling is to search out and obtain new customers. Always they try to find a new customer
Okay.
than existing customer.
Because timely feedback they
Yes.
get time to time.
And that is what, and to introduce the prospect with the product attributes, the brand or color or size or flavor, whatever the changes or modifications. So when we look at a motorcycle or a car with the same company, same brand, same model, but different permutations, different colors, features, slight modifications.
Okay.
So this is all reaches through personal selling, because prospect will be knowing the information, first hand information, through company representatives. And next objective would be, it serves to existing customers also. So while going to reach a prospect customer, they will also touch the existing customers, if any, on the way.
Okay. Okay.
So they don't want to lose any chance. So it is, therefore it is a, see, and he will talk to the existing customer that we have already sold a product, how it was, sir, is there any, madam, is there any complaints from you, so that company wants to know and get it modified later on.
You are trying to retain the old customer, existing
also,
customer.
Yeah, that is the main personal selling objective, is not only identifying, searching for new, but also existing customers.
Okay.
And second one is securing and maintaining customer cooperation and relations. So we all experienced every day or the one day or the other, someone comes and knock your door. Sir, madam, this is so and so on behalf of so and so company, and we want to launch, we have launched, our company launched this product, and this is useful for you, and this is the best product.
Yeah, this is a sordid scenario we see.
Yes, we every day.
Yes.
Whether it is rural or urban scenario, but we come across.
Correct.
So that is nothing but personal selling, because they do, and they seek cooperation from the customers. Even customer is reluctant to hear from him or listen to him or see his product, what he is proposed to sell or promote, but they convince, they try to seek cooperation. Sir or madam, just because if you buy it, I will get some bonus or commission.
Yes.
That way or this way, they try to convince.
Correct.
And that is how they seek cooperation from the customers, and also customer relationship management.
Relations, yes.
So, and next one is keep customers informed of changes, because product gets changes over a period of time, because the same product will not continue in the market. So even the same customer of the same product will seek change.
Yes.
So these people, sales representatives, sales executives, will keep informed about the product that are changed in the product. For example, a financial institution called bank, if they change their place from one place to another,
That is to be intimated.
that has to be intimated,
Yeah.
informed.
Yes.
So this is all changes how the companies communicate to the customers through their representatives or salespersons. And last but not the least, they collect information, feedback,
Yeah.
and report it to the as market information. They report it as market information to the company for making future decisions.
Yeah. It helps in further research.
Therefore, we call it two-way communication.
Yeah.
And effective, however, it is
Costly, yeah.
effective. It is
Costly.
also costly one
Yeah.
when compared to other tools of promotion. So this is how we have to look at the objectives of personal selling.
Okay. So having learned personal selling from Professor Anand Pawar, we would like to know from Madam Dr. Ranjani, what is the process of this personal selling? Can you be in more detail?
As we have heard from Professor Anand Pawar, personal selling is an art, and the success of any selling is according to the success of the salesman, to what extent he can convince, persuade the customer to buy a product. So, the main aim of any salesman ultimately is to convert a prospective customer into a customer. That is, the prospective customer who wants to buy a product would buy a product at the end of the sale process. Normally, a personal selling process has 7 important steps, where the first step is prospecting and qualifying. In this first step of prospecting and qualify, the salesman identifies prospective customers. Who are the prospective customers whom he would like to visit in that particular day or a week. Then after identifying the prospective customer, the second step is pre-approach. Okay. That is, in this particular step, the salesman does all his homework to know the particular prospective customer whom he is going to meet, or it may be a company whom he is going to meet. He will know all about the company, all about the prospective customer. That is, having the knowledge of the company or the customer whom he is going to meet is what is all about pre-approach. Then comes approach, where he actually approaches, that is the meet and greet. That is what happens, that is the salesman meets the prospective or the customer whom he wants to sell. After approach, the next step is presentation and demonstration. A recent research has shown that the initial 7 seconds or the 10 seconds plays an important role in a presentation or important role in the salesman's presentation, where if you can convince a customer in the initial 7 seconds to 10 seconds, there is a lot of probability that that particular presentation would end up with a sale. So, it is all about presentation, it is all about telling the story of your product to the customer whom you have gone to visit. Then after the presentation and demonstration, the next step is handling objections, where the salesman handles all types of questions or objections or any doubts what the customer has regarding that particular product. The next step is closing, where in closing the salesman ends the transaction by selling or making an offer of sale to the prospective customer. Then comes follow up and feedback, where in follow up feedback, the job of the salesman doesn't end the moment he sells the product. In order to maintain or retain the customer, in order to have a lifelong relationship with the customer, and also to see the customer is satisfied, to have customer satisfaction, the salesman also has a relationship with the customers after he sells. That is what is, these are the different steps what we have in personal selling.
Steps in
personal selling.
Okay, sir, what are the do you think, or do you say that there is a training needed for the salesman? You are talking about personal selling and the process of personal selling.
Right.
Is there a training takes place, and if it is, how it takes place?
Sure, because any company wants to succeed in its business, and in order to make their personal selling more effective, reach and measurable, they have to have an excellent team of sales representatives or sales executives, and in marketing parlance we call it sales force.
Okay.
When sales representatives, sales executives, sales engineers, sales agent, all together we call it sales force.
Sales force.
And to promote the company products and services, the right selection of sales force is also important for any company, and then training.
Okay.
So, before training the sales force or sales team, it is essential to understand that the company should select the right or suitable and skilled representatives as employees, and we call them, they are the ambassadors of the companies.
Correct.
They have to promote their business, and companies do promote their business through representatives, or we call it sales force. And selection is main important first phase, and in the second phase, once the representative sales team is selected, then company will focus on training. So, let us examine how companies do their selection. So, number one is when we talk about selection process, so companies do conduct preliminary interviews,
Okay.
where they invite all the prospective employees or potential employees with requisite qualification, interest and abilities.
Okay.
And after preliminary interview, they do at the second stage is application blank, where company is seeking detailed information from the prospective employee about their qualification, their skills or any past experience, so that how we are going to make use of his services,
Okay.
and also expected salary. So, all these things will be taken as application blank as a stage, where the companies tries to seek information from the potential employee.
Okay.
And third step, we call it written or employment test.
Okay.
Once the information successfully secured from the successful candidates of personal interview as preliminary interview, now written test will be conducted. The companies, they do written test where they want to test trade related knowledge, means whether the sales team or sales force is aware about the product or company. They train about the company objectives, company policies, right. This is all trade related aspects, and also they also test from written, through written test, psychological test, whether this person is suitable, whether he has a positive attitude to the given position or not.
Okay.
So, we call it trade related aspects and psychological aspect will be tested here through written test.
Okay.
This is what that start stage. And fourth stage would be interview, that is what a core interview.
Okay.
So, after screening out from the stage 2 and 3, now interview will be conducted, where the focus would be given how suitable he is, what potential he has, whether he is suitable for this company or not, whether he can advocate the company products and image and also ultimately increase the market share or not.
Okay.
Then reference check. After almost selection is over, but it is not revealed, but they go for reference check, which is already given by the applicant in his application, some care of address. So, the companies will ask whether this particular gentleman is right person or not, what is his background, whether he is capable or whether, what is his character, blah blah blah.
Okay.
So, they seek clarification as reference. So, this is we call it reference check, and followed by medical examination. So, when the salesperson gets through in all these phases, they have to undergo medical examination,
Okay. Which is very important.
which is very important for the companies, because the whatever the qualities are healthy, whether he is healthy or not, whether whatever essential qualities that, for example, visually handicapped or something disabled or something, so they wanted to know, and is there any problematic health checkup and all that. So, this is called medical examination. Once it is through, final selection will be made. So, final selection is nothing but giving appointment order.
Okay.
So, after that they will not be sent directly to the market, because they have to be introduced, trained.
Yeah.
What is the object company, what is the company, what company does, what are the objectives of the company, what the company policies towards the sales.
Yeah.
So, all these things will be trained to the selected team of candidates. So, that the training modules or methods would be, again we all of us know, on the job training and off the job training.
Okay.
So, every company do follow either both the methods or any of the methods, depending on the time,
Okay.
depending on the allocation of budget, and depending on the other situations too. And this is how they train, they select and they train, because ultimate aim is to, they have to perform better.
Okay. So, sir, you are talking about suitability of the candidate. You know, I think you have used this word 3-4 times in your discussion.
Right.
Madam, we would like to know, while checking the suitability of the candidate to be a salesperson, to select him, to train him, what are the qualities that you check from a candidate to understand, to know the suitability for a person to be a prospective candidate?
There are many qualities from head to heart which a salesman should have in order to be a successful salesman. But there is no exhaustive list or a magic list which we can say these are the qualities or traits what a salesman should have. But in general, a salesman first should have the knowledge about himself, about the product, about the company, and about the customer whom he is selling. Mostly he should have good listening skills, he should have good skills to persuade the customer, good communication skills, lot of confidence, integrity of personality, and also have a good character. These are the general list of qualities which a successful salesman should have.
Okay, these are the effective qualities
Effective
for
quality.
someone to be a salesperson. Loyalty is one important.
Yes,
Integrity.
integrity.
Yeah. Okay. So, having learned of what is promotion and what is advertising and what are the types of advertising, and while going for the advertising, what is the cost involved in the advertising, and how effective the advertising is of the, is it worth the amount spent, then is it worth launching the advertisement practices, and for selling the goods and services, you need people, and how to select those people, what Professor Pawar calls the sales force, and how the sales force is selected and how they are trained, and what are the qualities that these salespersons needs to possess. These are some of the issues that we have discussed, and also, sir, would you like to add
Dr.
something?
Ravi, I would like to conclude with one statement.
Sir.
Generally, people call why advertising because it is a social waste. But after having elaborative discussion of this kind, one should understand advertising or promotion is telling and selling.
Okay.
It is about telling and selling, and absence of advertising leads to product price will be increased, because when you are not aware of any information about any product, you have to go and inquire, and next time you have to go and buy. So it is increasing the cost of the product, price of the product.
Okay.
So, and next point is importance and utility of the advertisement has immense need not only to the economy but also business and customers. And advertising involves a lot of labor and capital. We cannot simply deny that advertising is waste. No, it involves a lot of efforts, labor and capital by the companies. And if it is not truly advertised or properly planned, it will go waste. There is no doubt about it, but it is not attaining any desired effect or money spent on the advertising, definitely or certainly it will go waste. However, keeping all these importance in view, the advertising is not at all a waste. It is going to contribute both not only the customers but also companies and also the national economy. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. And you want to conclude that advertisement is not wastage, but it has to reap the benefits. It should be purposeful and object oriented.
Right.
That is what you would like to say. Thank you very much, and thank you all the listeners for joining us this program. Thank you all.